So let me finish that introduction with, so most people like this idea of just spacing out meditation because it's easier, which is great, and everybody have to start from where they are. But if by any case someone keeps meditating for a while with all the apps and all these resources, and after a few months or maybe a couple of years, you just find that you just can't improve. Like, you read about experiences, you read about concepts, you read about things that still doesn't matter how much you try to meditate, it doesn't happen. It's because the attention is not stabilized. And the reason for that, as I said, I explained before, used to be a prerequisite for these more loose kind of meditations, because in the same way that many times people who swear they have insomnia, they cannot sleep at all, they take them to clinics and they actually see that they do sleep, they just don't notice. And in the same way, many people, if you find that your meditation, it is not bringing about a clear, straightforward change, it's because in a way that you don't notice, you're not noticing that you're getting out, your attention is just dull. If it's overexcited, you start thinking and you get distracted. But many times people will even notice that they get distracted, which is a major problem, because you could sit for hours a day and nothing will happen. On the other hand, if you take an object, just explore this and find an object that you find interesting or neutral, is the normal way to go about this. If it's not an effort of concentration, like you will make an effort, like trying to concentrate, like in school, like that will be like trying to suppress activities that are in your mind. Automatically, you try to suppress it with the idea of focusing your attention. That's effortful and won't last for long. You get weird. Some people get even headache by trying to meditate like that. It just seems to work a little bit, but you are overcoming distraction by effort, and it's not going to last. So in general, it's normally said, don't do that. So what it's all about, and you may have heard this before, which is going back to the object, whatever object it is. And this may seem, oh yeah, I heard that before. Well, but to which extent you actually integrate and apply that? Do you notice when your attention goes? You notice in the moment where it goes, or you notice after a long time of being distracted? Do you completely lose the awareness of the object? Do the thoughts occupy the center of your attention, or do they stay more around? There is an incredible amount of little details that will be exactly the knowledge, the feedback someone in any kind of meditation will need to make improvement, because that's the beauty of this approach to meditation, which is so simple that is too simple. People want to read more in a book or have more something to process intellectually, because it may be frustrating to sit and just to see your mind constantly failing at staying with one object. But what you're not really forcing your mind. What you're doing is every single time your mind wanders into something else, that's an involuntary pattern in you that is taking over you, that is possessing you beyond your will. That's exactly the way we get a continuum in our suffering. And all these called negative emotions are sustained by that activity. So many people will see it, and you will definitely notice your mind very active, and they will think, oh, I'm failing at this thing of meditation because my mind is just wandering. No, you are just amplifying what's happening inside of you. And you don't need to comment with anyone or make a comparison with you and anyone else, or make any judgment of what is your level of meditation. You know deep inside, you know very well. So even when you have a very, very bad day, or you sit and you're very disturbed emotionally, it's very difficult to meditate. Every single time you go back to the object, you de-energize an unconscious pattern and brought a little bit of freedom back into your life, which may seem at the moment for most people, oh, I'm doing 1,000 times going back to the object. I cannot meditate today. No, you are doing the right thing. And hopefully if you get into an environment or you meet people, or you have such a kind of routine that enhances you doing that, you will notice this like anything else. You will notice that your mind gets cleaner. The more you go to the object, the more you clean all these involuntary impulses, thoughts, images, emotions from the past, literally, that are enslaving you and making you miss the beauty of the moment. So you cannot enjoy your life, and we feel dissatisfied, and we start trying to go to Amazon or some kind of goal setting, smarter, more time management, so I can do more things to maybe get farther. And all steams out of this vacuum of unsatisfied. You may remember you were a child and you were just sitting there. You may not even have, your toy may be a stone. And you will feel like, it just reminds me of my kid. My kid just takes every stone he finds anywhere. He has all the toys in the world. But it's just refreshing to notice that it's just a point of view. And he really enjoys it, and he takes everything from anywhere. And it's not strange. Most kids are naturally cheerful. So there is something you that knows that you lost that brightness, like ease, and now your life is very complicated. It's very difficult to satisfy yourself even when you get everything you want. And it all comes out of this continuous absorption in thinking. So meditation only helps you find a structure, a system, feedback, a tool, so you can notice when you're not thinking consciously, which is about 90%, 99.999% of the time. You have to figure out that on your own, but that's exactly the experience when you are able to observe your mind undistracted for a long period of time. Everybody gets to the same conclusion. Even when you thought that was a conscious thought, actually wasn't. This may sound oversimplifying, but I'm just trying to be useful. And not even one single second ever fail in my life over a long period of time. It just doesn't matter how distressed you are. Just go back to the object, you clean. It gets better. Maybe it's not like you're going to start hugging trees right away, but you will feel a little lighter. And that is really what I think everybody should know. You're just a little lighter. You may not even notice. Remember that we have this unconscious part where people need a psychologist or someone who tells them what is happening in their own mind. So is this normal that you don't notice what's really happening inside of you? So sometimes people will make progress, but they don't even recognize it because they are expecting they should feel in a certain way when they meditate. So the idea that I'm bringing is that it is as simple as releasing the involuntary activity in your mind. It just doesn't matter how you do it. But, here's the big but, you need to be able to monitor on real time, on every second, where your mind is. You do that, you don't need a teacher. You don't need another book. You don't need anything. You will find. It may be, for most people, as we have collected certain kind of emotional traumas and stuff, so it may feel like people who got some somatic experiences, but that's not important. That's many times most people need guidance in that moment, because we'll get kind of, I sit to meditate and I get these sensations or these somatic things or these visions and this nightmarish thing, but that's actually a sign of progress. So that's the sense where belonging to a structure of meditation where there is people more experienced than you may actually very much of help in this moment. For the rest, it should be very straightforward. You meditate, every time you sit, you wake up, your life is better, period. Every single time. If that's not the case, then it's because your attention is actually wandering without you noticing it, and you get just to reinforce things without noticing it, which is really, really fine and should be expected probably for years. So let's go into it. Find a comfortable position. You're going to stay still for a while, so be sure you're comfortable. The only thing about the position is really to be able to sustain attention and relaxation. If you are so uncomfortable that you cannot pay attention or relax, that's not a good position. Feel free, anyone, to lay down if you can, or take a chair to move in between the meditation. That's really okay. Just try to sustain high degree of physical and mental relaxation and attention. So settle your body in a way that it is comfortable. Start taking a few deep breaths. Stretch your breath gently but surely, disengaging of these blocking sensations when you deepen your breath. Let your body relax. Let your forehead relax. Let your eyes relax. Each and every breath, you're going deeper into muscle relaxation. Your head is relaxed. Your neck. Your arms. Your chest and upper back. Your breaths are deeper, softer. Let go all of the accumulated tension. Invite your body to rest. Your belly, as you relax, and your relaxation Start deepening your breath. Your belly will start moving out. Your lower back relaxes. Your breath is slow and deep, calm and easy. Your legs are relaxed. From your hips to your toes, breathe out and breathe in, relaxing. Few deep breaths more. This time, becoming aware of all your body at the same time. The relaxing deep breath feels good. Your body loves that you're paying attention to it. Keep breathing. Make sure there is no tension in your shoulders or neck. Each breath is deep, slow, and gentle. You notice how your mind has reduced activity already. Slow, deep breaths, relaxing all your body at the same time. Feeling every sensation of your breath all around your body. All the joints will loosen up. Your spine straight in a comfortable, balanced way. Keep sinking deeper and deeper in relaxation, at ease. Feeling all your body at the same time, every cell. The waves of the breath as a subtle sensation through all your body. Notice how around your brain you can even notice mental activity. Feel that activity, keep breathing. And let that contracted attention sink slowly down into the center of your chest, your heart area. And let your attention be collected in the center of your chest. You zoom out from noticing anything else. Notice your gentle breath, now automatic, in the center of your chest. The sensations associated with your breath in the center of your chest. Arouse curiosity in a very gentle and calm focus. As if your attention was a light, you'll feel the spot in the center of your chest. And the rest of sensations and things are there, more like in the shadows, doing their thing. They're not important now. Your mind will try to pull back that attention into thinking. You don't need to stop your thinking. Just gently redirect your attention, your interest and curiosity to become sensitive, feeling the sensations of your breath in the center of your chest. In order to succeed with this, you don't need to think. So you can render all thoughts involuntary and uninvited. It's okay. Your mind has a habit of ruminating. So it couldn't stop talking. That's okay. Leave it doing whatever it does. Just highlight the sensations of breathing in the center of your chest. important turning point and understanding is when you realize that it's not such an active focus with effort, but it's more about relaxing anything else. Relaxing your mind, relaxing your focus on thinking in a very gentle way. Teach your attention to rest in the center of your chest. You don't need to react to sensations in your body, to sounds, to thoughts. Leave everything alone just for a few minutes. To deepen and deepen in relaxation, in inactivity, but sustaining clarity and vividness. Become so interested, so curious about these subtle sensations of the breath in the center of your chest, that everything else fades away naturally. Your attention may spontaneously go to other things, but try not to completely lose awareness of the center of the chest, no matter what. As if your life will depend on it, because all your future happiness depends on this moment. So it's worth it. Just relax and bring your attention back to the center of your chest over and over. Every time it's a win. more you release the involuntary activity, the more your body and your mind calm into a sweet, peaceful state with the most simple awareness of the center of your chest. Just a soft touch. No matter how many times you fail, how many times you fall, just gently wake up, effortlessly bring your attention back into the center of your chest. Over and over, releasing a little bit of your unconscious load every single time. There is less and less activity, and your attention becomes more and more stable, the less activity in your body and your mind. Try to catch your attention being distracted. Try to see if you can notice that very moment where your attention departs from the center of your chest to anywhere else. more stable your attention, the deeper the relaxation in your mind and your body. Your body rests and your mind becomes translucid, empty some way. But there is a clear sense of presence. Now let your attention be focused on everything at the same time. It's not just spot in your chest. Your object becomes everything at the same time. You sustain the quality of attention, the relaxation and the clarity. And like a cat hunting, just notice every little detail of your experience. A very stable and intense, vivid attention based on relaxation. It's a profound inactivity. Surrender your body and your mind, even your focus. Just rest, being completely aware of everything at the same time. Any thought, any sound is just a little part of the whole experience. You're attending exclusively to the experience. You don't need to think about it. Although some automatic thoughts may appear, you're not thinking them. Let go. The deeper you go, the less you do. As you become inactive, your mind slows down. You realize that you don't need to make any effort to sustain a continuous flow of attention. with no interruption, just pure open relaxation with clarity in every single moment, uninterrupted, undistracted. And when you notice everything at the same time for a little while, you start noticing a background of the experience, like the screen where the movie is projected. All sensory data, all thoughts are just a projection, but there is a background of awareness that notices everything. This background is unrelated to time, space, cannot really be located because it's everywhere. But you cannot think of it. It's not an object. It's not something you can actually perceive with your senses. And yet, it's very evident. It's the attention that allows you to be alive. The nature of noticing anything. You can stop it. It's always there. Rest in that background of stillness, silence, and peace. Real meditation is happening anyways. You cannot meditate as an activity. It's a surrender, recognition, the awareness that is there on every second of your life. We are just distracted. So rest assured that you don't need to try to meditate anymore. Just rest in the peaceful stillness that is aware of everything. Just rest and calm. For just a couple of minutes more before we finish. Make sure that you're actually giving it all. Giving this exercise a real shot. Surrendering completely, you're safe. Your mind will be there afterwards. But just for a few pure seconds, surrender yourself completely to the point that there is no activity. There's only stillness and peaceful silence. How deep can you rest in awareness? You can start waking up your body, moving your fingers, your toes, breathing a little deeper. Whenever you're comfortable, you can open your eyes. But not sacrificing that state of openness and calm you cultivated. Letting your body and your mind activate and be just another thing. has been true for every human. It will keep being true for anyone who attempts to explore this experience. You will realize your attention is involuntarily contracting on your mind. You're dreaming without noticing it. And the whole point is to relax your attention. Instead of keeping it contracted exclusively in your thoughts, in your dreaming, your interpretation, your opinions, your past. Just open. First, gonna find a lot of neutral sensations of the moment. But as you relax and your mind starts losing energy, you start becoming calmer, more peaceful, more here and now. Your senses will become clearer. There will be less thinking. And you will start just feeling fine. And that it is true even for the worst moments of your life, even for moments where the situation overwhelms us. We feel powerless by fear, by anger, by anything, even by pain. Still true. You let that contraction go. Start just being open. And the whole perspective of life start changing. Our habit is so strong and collapsing the mind that we don't even notice we're doing it all the time. And that's the jail. That's hell. That's the suffering. But for anyone who dares to explore these truths that have been found by many, many humans before us, we just realize that it's true for you, and it's actually everything you want. Sense of satisfaction that nothing in this life can give you. We may think we'd rather be in another place, another moment, in other circumstances. We tell ourselves that that's going to be happiness when you get there in another time, if things go as you want. But that never really happens. And when it happens, the only satisfaction we feel is just to stop seeking and trying hard for a little bit. When you solve the problem, when you get the thing, it's just a negative activity. It's just, finally, I don't need to work anymore because I have a lot of money in the bank. I feel secure now. That was it. You can conquer the world and be really miserable. And hopefully you dare to tell yourself this. That will be very confusing in our culture. We really believe we're going to be happier when we finally get that. Or we'll get rid of this other thing, or when we achieve this. But you know that you could get any of that things. Picture in your mind something you think you need to be happy. Circumstance, just pick it. And you clearly will understand that you could have that and still feeling very miserable. Even when you succeed in controlling an aspect of your life, I assure you, the rest is just not gonna go the way you want. And we think we're living in distress. We're living exhausted. We live in a sensation of desperation that I need this, I need that, I need that. And everybody needs you to think like that. So it's reinforced by many things in our life. But if you just dare to explore what happens if you just surrender yourself, it's an experiment. This realization that we were commenting about, this, the moment that you start diluting your contraction from your mind, you start noticing that actually the problem was really in your mind. If you don't think about it, you're actually safe now. Imagine someone having an anxiety attack, panic attack, and they're like, and someone is on their side like, no, come on, it's okay. There's nothing happening. But the person is absolutely, they cannot stop it. You try to talk to them, or they would try to relax, like, and still it's very hard because the contraction is so unconscious, so strong. But if they will succeed on just a little bit, you start noticing where they are, they will start realizing, like everyone else are the surroundings, that actually there's nothing dangerous really going on. Does this make sense? Is something you can relate? I know it's difficult. I know everybody's carrying your own little things that you need to be improving, your character, in your emotional life or whatever. But it's the same game for everyone. Depression, anxiety, madness, ambition. It's all the same pattern. We disconnected. We get us in this monopoly game of life so deeply. We start fighting with each other. We start actually selling real stuff in order to get a couple of more pieces to play. We do the same all the time. We sacrifice our happiness all the time just to get a little extra punch on this or that. So we get angry at that person because make us feel some sort of, I'm winning the game. But we're losing every single time we do that. And good news is it was all a nightmare. That's what everybody's fate is going to be. Just to realize it was just a dream. It was just a bad dream. That actually everything is fine right now. You need to think the contrary in order to experience personally the contrary. If you don't think anything, life is pretty much fascinating already. That's the moment where you see beauty in the most ordinary place. That's the moment that you feel fine and you don't know why. Did this happen to you? That you can recognize that sometimes you just feel happy and you couldn't explain why. Just feel fine, good. And our minds are not, and people around, no, that must be because you slept well and there's some good news somewhere. You cannot just be happy just because with no reason. That's not how it works. Good news, that's actually how it works, to the extreme that you will never find happiness that is conditioned to anything, which seems jail in the beginning for the achiever, Western business achiever. Why are you telling me to do nothing? No, do whatever you want. Just why you need to feel empty? Why you need that much? If you would just give it a break and break the illusion that is sustained by a continuous activity, by a continuous distraction, by a continuous contraction of your attention in your mental fabrication. If we would just stop that, not just by distracting yourself, going to dancing or doing that, which is please do it anytime you have the chance to have fun. But when we sit to meditate, we're trying to actually go a little deeper. Otherwise, your mind will find another way through it. You go to dancing in the beginning, you have fun, but when you start becoming good at dancing, you start like, you have a good experience. You go there and you're just demanding the thing to be. You want it, you lose it. So the good news is, what happens if you just stop thinking? Not because you try to stop thinking, obviously, please let's put that clear. Just because you just stop believing the voice in your head. Stop watching the projection in your mind. That's how we look from the outside. Yeah, we barely interact with each other, right? It's kind of strange to meet someone in your day and just someone who looks you in the eye and, I don't know, they seem to be like really, really seeing you. Wow, you feel good. So, coming back to the beginning, if I could make a point, if I have the opportunity to make a point on why many people are lost in life, but also sit to meditate and they just don't improve, it is because their attention is not stable. Because any meditation you can try, all of them are going to work if your attention is stable, all of them. Anything, actually, to the point if your attention is stable, you could just walk on the street and have an orgasmic experience. Orgasmic is just a release of tension. Not to say that you have to be all the time in an orgasmic. It lands into a very comfortable, nice feeling of your happiness is unconditional, it's never going to go away. And you know, no matter what. And you don't have to do anything for it. You actually don't have to do anything for it. So all over again, the whole point is we get lost in thought. Our attention gets distracted, and all techniques are just in there to assist you in whether reorient your attention to something so you release the compulsive contraction, or to open it. I said before, that can work. It's just my tip is that it's going to be really, really hard to keep feedback on an open attention. But if you have one object, did you notice when you completely lost it? I'm sure you lost it at some point in the meditation. Did you notice that for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, you were just not noticing that simple sensation that is always there? Did you notice you were away? I'm really asking. No? No. Yes? You didn't notice it went away? Did you notice that it stayed? Did you notice that it was there all the time? No, sorry. I'm talking about the exercise we did where it was placing our attention in the center of our chest and just try to let it rest in there. And what will happen to most people who haven't did this for a long time is that their attention will just start going somewhere else. Maybe a sensation, maybe a thought. But if you stay in there, for those of you who have these gaps where you stay in there, it's a very self-evident experience, right? You just know. You don't need to think, okay, I'm focusing my attention. Just know with clarity. It's like if I ask you, do you love your mother? Well, that's complicated. I don't know, something you know you love. When someone asks you, am I in love? Well, you're not. You just know. It's a very straightforward, direct experience that you don't need to process. It's just like the question, are you alive right now? I mean, you don't even need to think about it. It's just obvious. In the same way, this kind of self-evident presence, attention start just pouring into your experience when you let your attention just rest. But most people, you can notice, they just fall apart all the time. You can fall apart very hard for a very long time. That is really normal in the beginning, or if you're emotionally distressed, or if you're too tired and you just... But if you stay in there for a while, then the problem becomes you get tired. You relax so much and you were so tired that your attention may just fade. But still, if you keep on, it stays there. But it starts becoming not just, oh, I'm noticing the center of my chest, like anything. It starts becoming an experience that is very intense, very simple, very profound, as it would cut through your mind. It would cut through everything. It's just presence. It's as real. It's more real than you're thinking. You're thinking it's just ideas, data moving, maybe right, maybe wrong. But that is just the deepest sense of you are here, you're alive. You start cultivating that awareness. That is pretty much self-explanatory. And you're fine. Many people are really fine for not finding something so clear, probably for months, even when you practice daily. But it doesn't need to, because it's not really a skill, it's an unskill. Someone could try for a very long time and promise you, many people try for decades to stabilize their attention, like, but still holding to a lot of wrong ideas about their life, about hating other people, about fear, about many other things, and then you can sit and try hard to meditate, and it will be very slow. And some of you, and this is very important to make this point, some of you may not even think you can meditate, or you can be good at it, or you have anything spiritual or knowledge about it. Just because you're ready for it, just because you're ready to have an experience that is real, just because you're just there to abandon your mind, you abandon yourself and surrender to this moment, like you just are ready to give your mind a break, just not interested in your thoughts. No, just, okay, fine, you're there, but I don't care. And you can get a tremendous experience every single time. And that is my point. That is my point that I see very rarely anyone making this point. I think it's so, so important. This is what in my opinion, most people are really missing. And as you see, it's nothing complicated. But still, most people just overlook the quality of their attention as they meditate. And the quality of your attention is even more important than any meditation you're doing. So important that your whole life depends on it. I'm not joking. And that's the only thing you need to cultivate. You don't need to know anything else. You have everything there. Just take the challenge to explore what happens if you completely just surrender your mind, maybe just for a few minutes, few seconds. Okay, whatever you're ready to take, but just cut it out. Your mind is like a sound in the street. Doesn't even really exist. Just an activity. It's not a thing, right? You cannot just capture, you cannot take your mind, right? It's nothing. It doesn't even exist. The moment it calms down, it becomes transparent, right? Becomes like a mirror, becomes like space, becomes clear. Did I make the point clearly? It's very important to me, really. Very important to me, because I'm super excited to share this with other people. I want you to have very peaceful minds. I don't want you to be victim of anything in this life. I want you to be recognize you're so powerful that you can just wake up in the morning and go like, bad day, throw it at me. I don't care. Just doesn't matter. You just feel yourself here, and being alive is so incredibly self-fulfilling and exciting that the rest is just a movie you're watching on TV. Could be entertaining even when apparently it's difficult. It all relies on this point. Is your attention trapped? Is your attention resting and noticing what's happening here and now? Because your mind cannot stand this moment. Our mind needs to be thinking about something that is never here, that is somewhere else. But if you just focus at this moment straight, you can notice your mind disappears, and only this moment remains. Physical sensations, certain experience will stay there, but it doesn't stop there. If you keep looking, you will just find the light, the awareness that is actually so is there. There's no way you could kill it. The only thing you can do is to distract yourself from it. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, that's going to be quick, it's going to be... I understand there are a lot of complications, I know that very well. And yet, for many, many, many years since I really got this, and I had to go to very reliable sources to really understand this firsthand, not every single day has ever failed to me. Not ever. Is the hardest fact in life. So bringing back to the praying that I did before. It's a quote I took from this Taoist master. I took it from the text. I don't think it's even a quote anywhere, but you will understand hopefully why I brought this. Only on waking do we know it was a dream. This poetic, apparently poetic sentence is actually making a very specific point on meditation and on life. You don't know you're dreaming. And I promise you, every single time you're suffering in any way, you are dreaming. What? How what? How is it a dream? Well, that's exploration. I could throw out just some words from me, but probably won't land. Exploration is to firsthand explore how your mind works, how you're perceiving the world, and that's where some inconsistencies start appearing, to the point that, well, quantum physics on itself is the most inconsistent thing humans have ever found. But if you go to science itself, they cannot really understand or agree if is first matter and their consciousness, or there is consciousness and their matter appears in your experience. Given there is matter, because there's actually no matter, as science already proven through quantum physics, it's just energy, it's just perception, it's just frequency. So in terms of physics, there is no matter. I say this because in the ordinary day we talk about, of course, this is, but it's really not the case. If you really deeply try to investigate the reality of things, we realize that it's more insubstantial than we thought. That is maybe our thought that really made it consistent to us, but our experience is actually fluctuating very strongly. And when you pay attention to that, that's basically what many people meditating do. They just notice things. It may sound the most boring thing throughout the nature. Just noticing things that are there already anyway. It's just the most, no dopamine kick. Just wow. But the inconsistencies start becoming more and more apparent, and to the point that you will go around little by little noticing that you don't have to take life so seriously. And I didn't mean as a dream in an helpless way, like psychedelics, like just losing it, like no. In a dream, like as if you were playing a game for so long that you believe you are the game. And you at some point you start noticing that you're actually behind all that, and you don't need to be playing that role necessarily if you don't want. And the more you do that, the more the experience of life start becoming more unlocated, and there are certain experiences of opening to realize that there is no way that you could separate yourself from anything else. It's just a construct. I think that's the point where things start turning more like the comparison between material life and dreams start becoming more apparent. And this also, if you go in science of perception, you also is going to start finding that it's actually more evident. It's just in our day-to-day, we're just not interested. It doesn't seem to make any meaningful difference. But it does make a meaningful difference to notice that you may not need to worry. We may not need to be afraid. We may not need to be working so hard to get to a future. This is another long point that just because of the time, just rather leave it there. And with your heart full with peace. Thank you for coming.